When you arrived in Farnhamville and were at the intersection of Farnham and Main, did you have your emergency lights on?
I didn't have my flashing lights going, but as I rounded the corner, rounded the intersection, I did notice a car in the street, on Main Street, facing to the west, and some people near the car, and one male with a handgun pointed at a male that was proned out on the other side of the street.
So your patrol car, is it a marked patrol car?
It is a marked patrol car.
And it is.
As I rounded the corner, I turned on my top lights, my white lights, so I could illuminate the intersection.
And explain what the white lights are.
So these LED light bars these days have LEDs, and they can be any color. So just by pushing one button, instead of red and blue flashing lights, I turned them all to white.
So prior to activating that light, was the area in front of your car fairly dark?
It was fairly dark.
Okay. And I just want to make sure I have this stated correctly. You said your car was marked, and by marked I mean it says Calhoun County Sheriff's on it.
Yes, it does.
Okay. And what uniform were you wearing?
We were wearing a Class B uniform, so I would have been wearing an external vest with my badge affixed to the external vest.
It wasn't plain clothes.
It was not plain clothes.
Okay. After you turned your LED lights on, did you get out of your car?
I did.
And what did you do after you got out of the car?
I made a comment to the male about putting the gun away.
Okay.
I thought I'd recognized who he was, asked him to put his gun away, and asked whose car it was sitting in the street.
Okay. And when you say you recognized who he was, did you think that it was Jordan Trudeau Adams?
Yes.
And is that because you grew up in Farnhamville, or was the chief of police of Farnhamville at one point, and it's a small town, you know everybody?
It's a very small town. It's easy to know a lot of people in town when you work there every day.
Who else did you observe there at the scene?
I didn't look at them and take stock of every single person that was there. When I glanced over, I recognized Jordan. I recognized Nathaniel Jackson.
And did you have any exchange of words with, other than telling Jordan to put the gun away, any exchange of words with?
I asked if the car in the street was his car, and I think it was Shauna that said, no, that's my car.
At the time, did you know it was Shauna?
I didn't know who Shauna was.
Okay. And did they say anything else to you about what they had been doing or why they were there?
They said that they'd been following him.
Okay. So after they say that, then what do you do?
Well, then I turned my attention to the male that was on the ground.
Okay. And he's still, this male that's on the ground, is he laying prone, flat on his stomach?
He's laying prone. He had his hands in front of him. He's flat on the ground. He might have been up on his elbows at that point.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And then I walked over to him. I asked him, why are they following you? And then I asked him to stand up.
Okay. And then after, strike that. Deputy McKenny, before we came in here today, I showed you a video that was marked as State's Exhibit 13, and you had the opportunity to review it.
Sure.
Can you tell me what that is?
That's a portion of my Bodycam video from the evening of September 22nd, 2024.
Okay, so your body cam's continuously recording, correct?
Yes, it was. It was on for about 2.5 hours that night.
Okay, so when you say an excerpt, do you recall the time frame with when the time frame that was captured on this excerpt?
It coincides with my arrival to the intersection of Main and Farnham Avenue until just a few seconds after that. It's about a 45-second clip.
Okay. And that 45-second clip, even though it's an excerpt of the full body camera, is that 45-second clip a fair and accurate depiction of what your body camera would have recorded in that 45 seconds at that time?
Yes, it's exactly what my body cam recorded.
Your Honor, I'd ask permission to publish State's Exhibit 13.
No objection.
What's the objection?
I said no objection.
Oh, no objection. I thought you said objection. Yes, you may.
Okay, thank you.
You want to put that away? Is this his vehicle?
That's my vehicle. So I was following him.
Okay. Why are you being followed? Stand up.
Because I had the thing.
What is all over your pants?
That's fucking blood. That's fucking blood, dude.
Turn around.
What the fuck?
Deputy McKenny, in the top right-hand corner of your video displays the time and date. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then on the left-hand side, there's a watermark or a timestamp that says J. McKenny,
Correct.
and that just identifies that it's your body camera.
That's correct.
Okay. And so this excerpt of footage began at 11:05:45,
That's correct.
meaning 11 o'clock, 11:05 at 45 seconds, right?
PM, yes.
PM. Or excuse me, ended at that time, at 11:05.
That could be correct.
Okay, anywhere. It was generally around that time,
11:05,
and it was a
yes.
45-second excerpt.
Yep.
Okay. After the video ends, you place the individual in the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
In your patrol car.
Yes.
At some point in time, do you make your way over to the apartment complex in Farnhamville?
Yes, I do.
And was the defendant patted down?
Up to that point, he had not been.
Okay, but once you got to the apartment complex in Farnhamville, he was patted down.
That's correct.
And did you observe the items that were removed from his pocket?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Deputy McKenny, I'm showing you what's been marked as and admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 14. Can you tell me what this is?
It's a picture of some of the items that were removed from the subject's pockets. It shows the handle of a spoon, folding pocket knife, the tail end of a lighter, plastic baggies in the lower left-hand corner, and then this knife-like object in the shape of a hook.
And these items were found on the defendant's person.
That's correct.
Okay. Your involvement in this investigation didn't end at this point, right?
No, sir, it did not.
It's continued on. At some point in time, did you go to the home of Leilani Lint?
Yes.
Okay. Can you bring up Deputy McKinney, I'm showing you on the display State's Exhibit 6. Can you identify on that display by the number identification point where Leilani Lynn's house is?
It's marked as number 10.
Okay. And as part of your investigation, you went to her home.
Yes,
And the front part of her house, the front door faces Farnham Avenue. It faces east.
yeah, faces the park.
And is there a deck in that front part?
There is a deck on the front of that house.
Okay, so State's Exhibit, where would point one be?
Point 1
Yep.
on this map
Yep.
is over the top of the shelter house at the Farnhamville City Park.
Okay, and then point two?
Point 2 is the playground equipment at the park.
Okay, so if you're standing on the deck at Leilani Lynn's house, point 10, and you're facing east, about approximately how far is it between points 10 and 2?
I would say 100 yards, around 100 yards maybe.
And is there a clear line of sight between standing on Leilani Lynn's deck and the swing set?
Yeah, there's a fence actually around the tennis courts, but it's a chain link fence, you could see through it.
Okay,
So, yeah, you could see the playground equipment at the park from her front deck.
Deputy McKenny, as part of your investigation, did you purchase, or did Calhoun County purchase a specific item from Walmart to help in the investigatory process?
Yes, we did.
I'm showing you what's been admitted into evidence on the screen as State's Exhibit 36. Can you tell me what that is?
That is a replaceable multifunction blade knife produced by Mossy Oak, or branded as Mossy Oak. That's the demonstration knife that we had purchased for this investigation.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Not marked, this is an exhibit. You don't plan to offer it in evidence, but can you tell me what I'm handing you?
It sure looks like the knife that's in the picture.
Okay. Let's bring it up for now. That knife that was purchased by Calhoun County for this case, who is the manufacturer?
Presumably Mossy Oak.
Okay. And that knife kit, as it sits in front of you there, it appears on Exhibit 36, what components does it come with?
It comes with the handle, with the button that you use to change the blades. It comes with 3 different blades. 3.78 inch blade, a 3.5 inch gut hook blade, a 4.72 inch serrated blade. It also comes with a small case that the blades are contained in, and then there's a sheath.
And on this package, the sheath would appear on the back side
It's
of
on
it?
the back side of it, correct.
Now, is this Mossy Oak knife system, is it a fixed blade system, or can it be folded into the handle?
This is the fixed blade system. It does not fold at all into the handle. Just the thing about this blade is the blades can be detached, so you can put whichever blade on it that you'd like that's in the kit.
Okay, and so the blades that come with it, and I point you to State's Exhibit 36, those blades appear to have little machined out cuts towards the bottom side at the end.
That's correct. That's for affixing it to the handle portion.
Okay. And so, I guess in short, how does the knife system function, just in your own words?
Well, as long as you have a blade affixed to the handle, it works as any regular fixed blade knife. The difference with this knife is you can replace any of the blades. You can take the serrated blade off and put the straight blade on, or put the gut hook on and use any of those.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Do you know how to turn on the envelope?
Yep.
Is it okay if he steps out?
Yes. Is that the doc cam? Off the record. Is that the doc cam?
Yes.
All right, back on the record.
Your Honor, just for a clear record going forward, I'd appreciate if we would put an exhibit sticker on this just for any later record.
We'll call it, whatever our next exhibit number is, 45?
45, Stacy's exhibit 45. I'll mark it with the exhibit sticker. That's the record, that's the record.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Using, if you'd open that knife kit, could you demonstrate as best you can without cutting yourself how the blades work interchangeably?
Sure. So there's this small button here at the base of this blade section. If you push on the button, the blade can slide out of there. Put a different blade into it.
And any one of those other two blades that come with it also work the same fashion? So it locks into place? Okay. And while you have it there, can you show those three knives? The three blades, sorry. Just. So the one that would be to your left is a, how would you describe that?
That's just a straight blade.
Okay.
No serrations.
And I think the blade that's in the middle, I believe the manufacturer describes as a gut hook.
Correct.
Okay. And then the one that you initially took off during the demonstration, what type of blade is that?
That's a serrated blade.
Okay. Now, the knife handle itself, the little black protruding part that connects the blades to the knife handle, is that fairly sharp in and of itself?
It has some straight edges and it's very narrow, but I don't think it's been actually sharp.
Okay. And while you have that out, can you show that knife sheath? And then one last thing, if you could take that box that those knives came in, the protected plastic box, and I see those instructions, if you could take those out, please. And then flip that around so you can see the warning sticker on it, or the whatever that is. Okay. Can you reassemble that, please, for me?
Mr. Smith, why don't we take our noon recess at this time? We've gone a little bit longer.
Okay. Before I do that, Your Honor, at this time, could I offer State's Exhibit 45 in evidence?
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 45 is admitted. And we will stand in recess.